They are an accident waiting to happen.
Even they hush your mouth talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D, Texas where we stay at. Being inside in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and nah, we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. Guess what? What I'm not talking about today is Micah Parsons. No longer a Cowboy. No reason for me to even have a conversation about Micah Parsons. There's not a reason at all, okay? What we're going to talk about today is we're going to start to talk about next week's game, the first game of the year, what the Cowboys have to do in order to win that game. So I'm going to break this up into two parts. Today, we're going to be talking about our offense, the Cowboys offense, versus Philadelphia's defense. That's kind of our best matchup because their offense against our defense, we kind of still unsure about. But I'm going to talk about that on next Tuesday. I'm not going to do anything on Monday because it is a holiday and I'm taking a vacation, probably still soaking. But don't worry about that part because we're not talking about that right now, okay? But on Tuesday, I'll come in and we will talk about the Cowboys defense versus Philadelphia's offense as we prepare for next Thursday's game. 6 days away. It's almost here. We made it. We made it, y'all. It is football season. Once again, it's football season. This is Defending the Boys. I am your boy D. Will, and this podcast is brought to you by the car accident attorneys at 1-833-OHIM-HIT. Again, that's 1-833-OHIM-HIT. If you want to know what those numbers are, it's 1-833-644-6448. If you're ever hurt in a car accident, then you should give them a phone call. DFW area, it's 1-833-644-6448. The car accident attorneys at 1-833-OHIM-HIT. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's be honest about something real quick, okay? Even if that guy that we're not talking about was here, our defense was still going to have a little bit of struggle. And what we're counting on at that time was that Matt Eberflus's defensive scheme could allow us to stop the run. But we hadn't done it mainly with the personnel that we had, going back in with a few extra pieces, but still worried we were about whether or not we were going to be able to stop the run. And I told you Matt Eberflus's defenses have stopped the run a lot, but without knowing if they could, this was going to be a game where our offense was going to have to score. As a matter of fact, like I got tongue-tied. As a matter of fact, this year was going to have to be a year that our offense was going to need to score in order to win some games. And let's just, again, call the facts as they are. We've been getting punched in the mouth a lot over the last 5 and 10 years. I'm not even going to go 30 years, but, when you talk about San Francisco's and the Green Bay's, even though, the San Francisco games, the playoff game, at least, we got smacked in the mouth, but we started smacking back and we were pretty close to a comeback and a win in that game other than a few other issues. But that's neither here nor there. The point is we got smacked in the mouth, both sides of the football. And we're hoping that it can be a little bit different this year. So specifically about this game, look, the history says there's about an 80% chance that the defending Super Bowl champions will win their first game back. That's about 80% of the time. That's just history, right? I think it's 20-5 over the last 25 years. So the Cowboys got their work cut out for them. And the team that's going to be able to side the ball is going to be able to help us the most is going to have to be the offense. And so I started to study the offense a little bit. And the easy part is, obviously who we have, right? We do have some studs. honestly. But I want to start with the offensive line versus their defensive line. And when you start to look at it as a whole, their defensive line, their linebackers, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, they're not there anymore. They're going to be starting a rookie linebacker, from what I understand. Am I saying that they're not going to be good? No, but I'm just saying they're not the same defense from last year's Super Bowl. They got a cornerback that's different. They got a safety that's different. This ain't the same defense that we saw a year ago. And we're not the same offense that they saw a year ago, because they got to play against Cooper Rush last year. They got to play against Dak Prescott, but not just Dak. I mean, we still have an opportunity to do some things beyond just that. And so when you start at the offensive line, understanding that it's still, I mean, they still have some guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't have anybody. They still have Jalen Carter, and they got a team of players. I'm not saying that they're going to be horrible, but we also beefed up a little bit in our offensive line. Now, I say a little bit because basically what we did from our offensive line was we traded out basically a Pro Bowl guard who did not play at a Pro Bowl level last year, right? So let's clear that up. He did not play at the Pro Bowl level last year, which is why he retired, okay? And we're replacing him with a rookie, and we don't have any clue what that rookie is going to be giving us, all right? We have no clue what the rookie is going to be giving us. But we're thinking that the rookie is going to be able to hold his own. I'm not expecting him to be mauling people in year one. I'm just expecting him to hold his own in the run game, stand in front of people, not get pushed back into Dak Prescott. And that's the expectations. He's strong. He knows how to anchor. Even when he did get pushed back a little bit in the preseason game, he eventually anchored himself. He didn't get pushed all the way back into Dak Prescott's lap. And I'm proud of him for that, first action in the NFL. I feel like he just is going to continue to get better. But this is their first regular season game for him. There's going to be some nerves, some jitterbugs. The lights are on. It's literally prime time Thursday night football. All the eyes in America. If you watch football, you're going to be watching that game. We just traded Micah Parsons. Everybody's going to want to see what the Cowboys look like. There's going to be some nerves for our rookie. And so the very first question is, how will our running backs look? And my honest opinion is they're going to look as good as our offensive line looks. That's the honest opinion. And this isn't the easiest game for our offensive line, just to be honest with you. And I don't know. I can't just sit here and say that, oh, man, we're going to blow them off the ball every play. What I can say is running backs like Javonte Williams, I also don't feel like we're going to get blown off the ball. I feel like maybe he'll get 1 or 2 yards before getting touched. And his strength, similar to what we saw with Phil Maffa, is that he can pick up the additional 2 and 3 yards where we're getting 4 and 5 yards per carry. Explosive runs, I'm not sure if we'll get him for Javonte Williams or not. He's capable, though. He's definitely capable. I'm just not sure if we'll get him. But make no mistake about it, 4.5, 5 yards per carry wins you football games. Okay, that wins football games, no matter how no matter how you look at it. Can we get the rookie out there to break some and then have some big runs? Maybe, maybe not. But I am confident, if we're talking about defending the boys and what we can be confident in, I'm confident that we should be able to get 4 and 5 yards per carry, clearly with just, or simply rather, with just what we have currently, what we know about what we have currently. And then we're counting, obviously, on, some of those plays that, you can get Turpin sneaking out the backfield and getting, 20-yard gains and, things of that nature. So that's where I believe is probably our weakest point, right? Where our offensive line, where they're going to be. That's our weakest point. Because if they can hold up and they can give Dak some time, I did say that they got a new cornerback starting, right? And they got a new safety starting. This isn't the same secondary from last year. And we have a different wide receiver on the other side over there. It's not just CeeDee Lamb that you have to worry about. Oh, if they give Dak Prescott some time, they got some problems on their hand. I'm just telling you that. Now, here's where we can get excited, okay? If you want to get excited about something, if Dak Prescott steps back there and has 4 or 5 seconds to decide who he wants to throw the ball to, that offense on the other side is going to have to come with it, or it's going to be a blowout. Okay, that's the way I see it. There's no two ways about it. It's going to be a blowout. And that's not just for Philadelphia Eagles. That's for any team. If you can't put pressure on Dak, we're running up and down the field. Okay, because we have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Kevontae Turpin. And, oh, my God, there's so many options. You know, we ain't even talking about Fergie baby in the middle that's going to be our third down, making sure we get it done, and the Schoonmakers and the Brooks isn't there anymore. I was going to say Holden again. He is on the team. It's practice squad. I'm talking about Tolbert. That's what I'm trying to get to. Tolbert's still doing sneaky little Tolbert things. Okay, he still led our team last year. He does sneaky little Tolbert things. If Dak has the opportunity to back up and get 4 seconds to figure out who he wants to throw the ball to, this defense is not going to be able to handle it. And then they're going to be back on their toes. And in that situation, I feel like that's where Jaden Blue and even Miles Sanders, who probably has a little chip on his shoulders about playing his old team and people like that, that's when they have an opportunity to really gash and make some plays in the run game. I think it's going to come down to first downs, though. How we look and how we handle the first downs on our drive. Where did we put ourselves in positions? Because if we're putting ourselves in positions where, you know, on first down, we're able to pick up 5 yards, whether that's quick little 5-yard outs or Ferguson in the middle or whatever the case is, and then we can come back and decide what we want to do on second down and get 3 yards or, 2 yards, and then we got 3rd and 3s, and we can go either way. 3rd and 2s, things like that. I feel like this is going to be a situation where they're going to be in trouble, and they're going to have to keep up with us, because their defense is going to have problems. I know they got Cooper DeJean and the other guy on the other side. I forgot his name already, but that's 2. But that's not going to be enough, because we don't just have 2. Let's just assume that DeJean could keep up with one of the 2, which I'm not really positive he can keep up with either one of them. But I know Philadelphia got their own, he's great. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread, Rocky Balboa, whatever. But let's just assume that he could keep up with CD. Then you still have, Pickens on the other side. And now let's assume that, possibly that you got somebody over there that could hold on to him, and your rookie linebacker is doing his thing. And, eventually you run out of people. Turpin's still going, 32 miles an hour straight down the seam. Who's keeping up with him? Who's going to keep up with him? They don't have anybody who can keep up. They can't continuously keep up with our offense. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is if we have a halfway decent opportunity to run the ball, and we can stay, with reasonable second and third downs, we're not having a whole bunch of penalties for holding and jumping off sides and different things like that, our offense is going to put 40 points on the board. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because at the end of the day, if we're moving the ball, then we're scoring. Is it touchdowns every time? No, we still got Butter Aubrey, right? So we just got to move the ball down the field enough to get him an opportunity. And even if all we did was move it down the field 11 times and got 11 field goals, that's ridiculous, crazy talk, but that would still be 33 points, and so what I'm telling you is, again, if we're moving the ball on first down, that they're going to be in trouble. That's really all that there is to it. So that's how I feel about our offense versus their defense. I don't think their defense holds up against our offense. I don't think that this new look Philadelphia defense is as good as the team was last year. And my honest opinion is the team last year couldn't keep up with what we currently have. I don't think they could. Not on offense. Now, their offenses, we'll talk about them on Tuesday and the capabilities that they have to keep up. But they definitely going to have to keep up. And that's just how I feel. Again, this is Defending the Boys. I am your boy, D. Will. And this has been our end of the week wrap up. And talking about Dallas's offense, we understand where we're going for. We don't have Micah anymore, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Because Micah wasn't going to stop the run. This defense, even with Micah, was not expected, rather, to be doing a whole lot of stopping of people. Hopefully they could make some plays, is what we were hoping for. Maybe Micah will get a couple of fumbles, strip sacks or something, and that could cause our offense to get an extra opportunity, and it was going to be a gunfight, right? That's what we were hoping for. Maybe it's different now. We'll talk about the defense on Tuesday, see what we can come up with. All right, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. We'll see you next week. I'm out.